Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back with another Reddit Ask Me Anything. We're joined by Jonno, JCB, Chipchase. How you doing, sir?
I'm very good, thank you, mate. How are you?
I'm great. So you kind of exploded on the scene. I saw that you were the main event on that prospect series, and I was like, well, we'll see how this goes. And you absolutely demolished that dude, and you immediately got the called up to the big leagues. Is that what you were expecting?
Yeah, that's what I was expecting. I mean, I was supposed to fight Robbie Brown initially on a main card, and that got reshuffled a little bit because he fought Gary Fox instead. So they sort of put me on the main event of that prospects card. But I knew, in terms of stand up, I'm a very, very high level fighter. So I knew there's not many people in the world that'll be able to stand with me bare knuckle.
Okay, so is there an issue between you and Robbie Brown that you were gonna fight? Like I saw, is that the fight you just been wanting? You guys are your friends. You just want that fight, or
There's no issue. I mean, we've gone back a bit as you do when you're fighting. We message each other. To be fair, mate, is a sound guy. Obviously, when we're gonna fight, we're gonna kick off and have a fight. And there's only so many times you can go, "Well, I'll beat you. I'll beat you. I'll beat you." I mean, we've pretty much fucking said it all. To be fair, but no, some people call him a hype train. I don't necessarily agree with that because even though he's not fought at the level I have, he's won his fights. He's done very well. And his last fight against Gary, that's a difficult fight. I mean, Robbie's a mad bastard. He's fighting at 65 kilo and he's smaller than I am. You know what I mean? So he has my
right?
respect. He has my respect in that regard. And it's good that he's finally going to be fighting someone kind of. I mean, I'm massive for 61, so I'm not going to be his size, but I'm more relatively his size than the people he's been fighting. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you come from a more of a Thai boxing. So what brought you from Thai to BKFC?
Well, my last fight was in Thai was against a guy called Abdallah Ondashu. His record's insane. It's like, 40 odd fights with amateur and pro. I think he'd lost maybe two or three of them. The majority of his wins were by knockout. Before that, I'd fought
Okay.
all the top boys in the UK and a lot of the top people all around. Fought all over Europe and fought top Thais and stuff. And I was coming to a point where I'm getting on in my career, but I'm not old yet. I'm still only 33. But a lot of Thai fights and the scene was becoming a little bit stale for me. Do you know what I'm saying? So then I
Sure.
saw what Mike Perry was doing, and I reached out to him. Funnily, I messaged him. He's kind of inspired me with his journey, and because he's not old either, but he'd sort of similar with the MMA career. He'd come to a bit of a stagnation, and then he moved over to bare knuckle and smashed it. Now my name is the JCB for a reason. The same as some people call me the God of War. I'm a very forward fighting, brutal guy, and I love violence. I love fighting. I love blood. I love pain. I just love it all. If I could fight every weekend, I would. So bare knuckle just seemed the appropriate sort of new avenue for me. And then getting to fight Anton in the on the Prospect show solidified it for me because I've never felt more comfortable, more relaxed, and more in tune with the chaos that I can bring. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, you said you reached out to Mike Perry. Can you tell us some of the stuff he told you, or is it kind of confidential between the two of you?
No, it's not confidential. I mean, first of all, I'd sent him a few of my training clips, and I was like, "What do you think of these?" And he was impressed. And then he was saying, "But start more jab heavy and stuff." He likes to lead very heavy with his lead hand. He was telling me, anything you throw in bare knuckle, you're trying to throw to do damage." So just little tips like that, where I was looking at him training, looking at his fights, like him fighting Rockhold and stuff, and it made sense to me. So I thought, yeah, in terms of striking, in terms of pure striking, obviously, I believe I'm better than even him. But in terms of bare knuckle,
Yeah.
this is why the Robbie fight will be a good fight. Do you know what I mean? Because
Sure. Yeah.
striking, clinical striking's one thing, but bare knuckle's a whole other ball game. You know what I mean? It can change on the flip of a coin. It can change in a second. You know what I mean? So that's why someone like Perry is so good because he's so tough and he's so durable, and he's got that dog in him. Do you know what I mean? And it's the same. I believe the same with Robbie, and I know the same with myself. So it's when seeing them similarities, I was just like, this is the sport for me, especially because it's popping off. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Dude, this thing's blowing up. So you have a good mate. Well, I'll use your words. You have a good mate, Darren Till. Do you think he ever comes over to BKFC, or it's just not really the bare knuckle thing's not really his thing?
I'm not sure, to be honest. He's good mate. I've known him for a very long time, Till, from the old days of Muay Thai. He was a very, very good Muay Thai fighter when he was young. Him and Perry going back and forth was the reason I kind of got introduced to Perry, to be fair, because Till's such a big star over here. And a lot of the
Sure.
MMA guys sort of are associated with the Muay Thai lads over here, so we all kind of know each other. But him doing bare knuckle, I reckon he will eventually. It's just whether it makes sense for him financially. I reckon Darren could probably do boxing and make a lot of money doing that. He could, not talking misfits, I'm talking sort of like very high level MMA guys, even pro boxers. He's so good with his hands that, and he always has been, that
Sure.
he'll probably look for the money in boxing, I imagine, to sort of keep the tread on the tyres before he eventually comes to bare knuckle. It would be my opinion, but who knows with Darren, he could do whatever he wanted. You know, he's his own man.
Absolutely. Okay, so your training camp for this, is there anything different that you're doing, or just the same old run of the mill? You've got it honed down to a science that you've had 44 fights.
Well, I've stopped drinking, which is a big thing. No, because I've been a professional fighter since I was 16. So for me, you know, it slowly seeps in because it's cyclical fighting. So you'll have like 8-9 week camp, and you'll have 8-9 weeks where you're just going crazy, getting smashed, and they all bleed into each other in the end, which is something I'd warn young fighters against, that binge lifestyle. Because in the end, it just bleeds into itself, and in the end, you just end up thinking, fuck it, I'll drink the night before, or I'll drink the week before, or whatever. In terms of training, I have got that down to a science, because out of the 44 pro fights I've had, I must have had 88 camps, because a lot of people have pulled out over my
Sure.
career and over the course of my life. So when I was younger, it was more just getting another fight. The older you get, the more honed and precise your process becomes. And right now, my process is down. I've got it down to a T. So in its 6 weeks yesterday, I'll be firing on all cylinders, raring to go. I'll weigh in at 61 kilo. I'll be like 70 kilo in the ring, and I'll be ready to smash for the full 5 rounds.
Okay, so you've done Muay Thai a long time. That beats the shit out of your body. Like when you do the training for BKFC, do you only train, bare knuckle type, or do you still love to do the Thai training? So you just kind of do a mixture.
I do bits, but really I've been honing more just on boxing, to be honest with you. I mean, as you said, you know, being a pro fighter in Thai for as long as I have, it does wear your body down somewhat. I'm lucky that I've only ever been finished once to the head in my whole career, and I've never been in the gym or anything knocked out or anything like that. So concussion-wise, I'm sweet. I'm known for having a very durable chin, you know what I mean, in the game. In terms of my body, everything feels sweet. I've never, apart from when I had my eye taken out in a fight, I've never really had any bad injuries or any long-term damage, to be honest. So I reckon I've got a few years left a few years left to crack.
So eye taken out as in like you had a cut, or like popped out a socket?
No, I had an orbital blowout where they had to literally take my eye out. I was under the operating table for like 6-7 hours, and they
Ugh.
had to take my eye out, fix everything together again, put it all back. I mean, I've had my nose broke like 11, 12 times and shit
Sure.
like that, but that's nothing. That doesn't bother me at all. I've had my teeth knocked out. I've had loads of cuts and splits, and all that's just part of the course in fighting. It doesn't bother me at all. But the eye one was that
Yeah, it's
was
gross.
interesting. Yeah, one knows.
Okay, so Nick Chapman has been very adamant that he would like to put together a bare knuckle Thai. Is that something that interests you, going over to Asia and fight bare knuckle Thai, or are you good with just boxing?
Oh, I like boxing, but I definitely do bare knuckle tie. Because the reason I initially contacted the BKFC to get involved was there was a few stumbling blocks with me getting into one championship. I mean, really, I'm that level, and in the little gloves, I should be fighting in one championship. But you know it is in the game, politics, rules beyond all else. So I thought, I'm not going to wait forever just waiting for one championship. Fuck it, I'll just go boxing, bang some people out. It might make my case that I should be in one. But I'd probably prefer, now I've taken the gloves off, to fuck the MMA gloves off completely and just go bare knuckle tie. Because I've
Yeah.
got strong clinch, I've got strong kicks, but my main tool in Thai boxing is my boxing. And I can negate pretty much everything else, so I don't think there's many people as well that'd be able to stand with me bare knuckle in Thai, to be honest with you.
Okay, so you said you quit drinking. Is that one of those things like you think you're gonna have to just kind of go to the sober life, or you're gonna be able to just curtail it during training and then be able to enjoy yourself when you're not in camp?
Teetotal me now. It is one of them. I always slip down that slope of, and I'm sure anybody that's listening will, if they have any addiction problems, will be able to resonate with them somewhat. Where I'm one of them where I can be good for a few weeks. I mean, this is probably nearly 2 weeks now. This is pretty much the most I've been sober since I was like 17, 18. And normally what I'll do is I'll get sober for a little bit and then I'll just have one beer. And you wake up like a month later going, I've been drinking fucking every night, and you slip back
Sure.
down into that thing. So for me, I'm done with that now. I've got this opportunity to be on the BKFC. I'm looking for a world title. I'm looking to clean up my division and then bow out of the sport of fighting gracefully after a few title defences. And to do that and to make my family and my children and the people around me proud, I'm going to have to not drinking on the head. It's unfortunate, but it is true.
No, and absolutely, and I feel like like in the long run, you're probably better off. I mean, it's going to improve your relationship with your kids and the wifey, and just like it's there's the positives are so much more than the negatives. I feel like you definitely made the right choice.
100%, mate. 100%. It's like I said, it's one of them. You slip into it, don't you? And it's the same with any sort of addiction. You slip into it and you make excuses, and then in the end, one day you sort of sober up, or you come to the position or the crossroads where you have to sober up, and you go, "What the fuck was I doing?" And I've been, like I said, I've been a pro fighter since I was 16, so I've kind of lived that life of getting smashed, fighting, doing whatever the fuck I want. As long as I'm cracking heads, I'm happy. And then now I'm getting older and hopefully becoming a little bit wiser. I'm trying to take the better routes in life.
Okay, so you're from Manchester. Are you a City fan or a Manchester United fan?
Manchester United all the fucking way. I'm a red. Come on now. City is shit. This is standard.
Do you get to go to many games? That's always been a bucket list of mine to go to a Manchester United game. I love Manchester United, so absolutely.
I've been to one or two. I'm not really an avid football fan, but I have been to one or two. The atmosphere in the stadiums is something that I'd love to feel one day in fighting, because that number of people, I imagine, shouting your name would just give you such energy. So I'm excited about this next card, this BKFC 60. You got Danny Christie, you got James Lilley, you got Gary Fox, all fighting for titles. It's a massive card. Loads and loads of people are going to be there. Me and Robbie are kicking off, having a scrap with each other. It's going to be electrifying, and I can't wait. That's why I'm buzzing. The BKFC's popping off, and I'm a part of it. I want 20,000 people all screaming BKFC and my fucking name while I'm cracking heads in. And I want to feel that. I want to feel that for fighting, not just football. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Andrew did such a phenomenal job with this card. Like, he told me a while back, he's like, I'm putting together a massive card. He's like, I wish you could come over here for it, because he's like, I'm putting some of the biggest names in the UK on this card, and this card is going to be amazing. I can't wait to watch it.
It will be very good. Andrew's doing very well with it. Andrew Batewell is top boss. He really is. Nothing but kind, cordial. It's always been fair and straight up with me. So I have nothing but respect for him. I'm a company man at the end of the day. That's why when they shifted me from Robbie to it was somebody else, and I think I had after the Robbie after the Robbie shift, not pull out, to the other opponent I had 6 pullouts in a row. Where I was,
Right.
do you want to fight this guy? Yeah, whatever. Do you want to fight this guy? Don't give a fuck. Do you want to fight this guy? Whatever.
Yeah.
But I am that type of company guy where, because he's a good boss and he's a fair guy, and they do what they say on the tin, I'll fight any fucker for this company.
Okay, so a lot of people say oh, to be a fighter, you're a big dumb guy. You're actually a pretty smart guy. You're into philosophy. Can you tell us some about your education?
Yeah, so when after I had my eye out, I stopped fighting for a little bit, maybe 4 or 5 years. That's when my kids were born, and I thought I have to become a bit more sensible now. And weirdly, you might not know any of these people, but you might. I became quite tight with people like Pete Hitchens, Richard Dawkins, Noam Chomsky. These are people that I'd seen on TV, and they'd have sort of ideas that intrigued me. So I'd email them, because on any academic website, they have EDU pages. They're easy to find. And you can just email them and go, this was wrong, this was right, whatever. And if it's their idea, if it's their conception, they'll always respond back to you, because it's their baby, innit? So
Sure.
in the end, I was having massive debates with very high-level philosophers and very high-level, even Nobel Prize-winning physicists. A guy called, he was the 5th horseman of the apocalypse, because I was very into atheism at the time. This is when I was younger.
Okay.
Victor Stenger. Unfortunately, me and him always used to go back and forth when I was young. And once I sent him a really terse, ridiculous email, and his wife responded back to me and was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, he's died." I was like, oh, fucking hell. She had to read it. But it was par for the course of me and him, fucking hell. But yeah, no, I was arguing with a lot of these people, and in the end, I was speaking to a guy called Alexander Rosenberg, who's the head philosophy professor at Duke University around your ways.
Okay.
And he was like, yeah, you're onto something here. What's going on? You know, I'll come into your offices, we'll have a chat about it, whatever. And I was like, I'm just a fighter drunk in a room. I'm not a, don't have an office to fuck all, you know what I mean? So he was like, oh shit, we have to get you into uni. So I ended up going to a good uni in the UK. I never even had to go to the building, to be honest, because it's so liberal and left wing. The first thing that happened to me when I went there was this girl with pink hair, and there was a quote on the board of Cicero. Cicero's like a hero of mine, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Cicero he fought against the political strata of his time and died for it. And this is back in the old Roman days. This is a rough time. And they had this beautiful quote, I don't remember what it was. And she stood up and she went, "Can somebody tell me why we're all listening to an old white guy?" And I was like, well, first of all, it's ancient Greek, and second of all, and then I got shut down. So I was like, you know what? Fuck this. So I went to my professor.
It froze. I hope you're still there. I
Sorry,
can't
there,
hear you,
mate.
like it froze. So I wonder if your phone died. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, sorry, geezer.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, you're good. Okay,
Yeah,
sister,
so I was
the
like, you know,
lady.
the lady with the pink hair. Yeah, so she was basically giving Cicero shit, saying he was some old white guy. And I was like, you know, I couldn't listen to it, brother. You know what I'm saying? I think you froze again. 1 second. We're trying
And
to
we're
get
back.
we're back. Fuck me. Start speaking about liberalism, and the fucking internet goes down. There's something in
Yeah.
here, I reckon.
Weird coincidence. Okay, we'll try again. Pink hair girl. Why we
Yeah.
listening to an old white guy? Go ahead.
Yeah, and like I said, he's an ancient Greek fella who'd sort of literally fought and died to beat the political strata in that time. He'd wrote Philippics against, I think it was Marcus Antony, which is like sort of like rap disses, but of the day, you know what I mean? And they were brutal, they're brilliant. So I just couldn't stand to be around the university culture. So I went to my professor and I was like, listen, you know, I ain't going to be around here anymore, but I'll do my work. And he was like, well, read this. I already have. In the end, he was like, I can't really reference any books, so just send me your work, and if it's good enough, I'll pass you. And then about a
Cool.
month or two later, I sent it, and he went, yeah, cool, you passed. So I ended up getting a master's in philosophy through that. And then went straight back to fighting.
So a master's in philosophy and a master in kicking ass. Like you're quite the cultured man.
I got offered a PhD in psychology too, but I was like, fuck it, I'd rather kick ass now. I can't be asked staying in university anymore. It's fucking deep.
So is that something you're looking forward to, like after you finish, like maybe getting a PhD in philosophy?
I'd like one in psychology. So my dissertation, basically, it's very sort of overarching and ridiculously grandiose, but my dissertation was, I will answer the problems of all philosophy. And I believe I did. So in my mind, anyway. So for me, it was like, right now I've got to go to psychology and try and do that. And I would have done that if fighting hadn't come knocking on the door again. I had a bit of a tumultuous situation in my life, a little bit of a difficult thing where I thought, lost myself a little bit. And I thought, well, what am I going to do now? Because I've been doing all this academic shit. I know I'll go back to fighting. So I've always fucking known. And that was maybe 7-8 years ago. But when it's finally done, I will go back to academia and I will probably work a quiet job in some office or maybe become a librarian or some shit in the end. I don't know. But because I love books and I love reading. But for now,
Okay, so
sorry, go on.
oh no, I was gonna lead right into that. I was gonna say, so it sounds like you love to read. Like I mean, like to know all these quotes, you have to like be studying books all the time, right?
When I stopped fighting, I used to, before I fought, I used to love guitar. So I'd spend like 6-7 hours a day playing guitar. After that, training, same, took over. When I stopped fighting, I'd be reading 6-7 hours a day. Every day. It's just, I have that type of nature. I don't know what you would call it. Maybe some sort of, I'm on the spectrum of ADHD, though I don't like labels. Or I believe if you give it yourself, you feed into it sort of thing. But yeah, I definitely have that sort of hyper-focused attitude and nature in my life. So I do absolutely adore to read. A massive Dostoevsky's quote on my back. Dostoevsky's my favourite author. I love Kafka. I love Albert Camus. I love a lot of good authors, and I adore literature. It's probably my second love beyond fighting.
Okay, so James really likes to do the poetry. Have you thought about like actually authoring, like writing some books and anything, or is that something that interests you?
I was given a book deal when I'd stopped fighting, but and it was supposed to be 6 atheists, 6 theists discussing 6 topics. I had Richard Dawkins writing the intro. I had Lawrence Krauss in it. I had a lot of top philosophers and scientists in it who were quite famous. And then, like I said, fighting just took back over. James, he sent me his book of poetry. I offered
Yeah.
to read it and give him possibly a quote for his blurb. And I've got that in my inbox now. I'm going to be reading that over the next few days. I'm looking forward to it because he seems like an interesting character, him. I'm looking forward to reading his work.
Well, James is on the Reddit. Like, he's fantastic. I love that guy. You joined the Reddit at one point. You had, made some comments. I'd love to see you back in there. It's been quite a while, but like, yeah,
I'm still
like
part of it.
yeah.
I'm not that, to be honest. I even deleted my Facebook and shit because social media becomes so incongruent because there's so many different avenues to go down. I just thought,
Right.
fuck it, I'll just keep Instagram. But I do like Reddit, and I do need to become more active on there, to be fair.
Okay, so you have that violent style of fighting that I feel like there's no way you could be in a boring fight. We want to know in the United States when we get to see you come over here. Like, we love that you're going to do it in the UK, but like, I personally, like, I'm bring your ass over to the United States. We want to put you in front of these like big stadiums, chanting your name.
100%, bro. I reckon it'll be between whoever wins out of me and Robbie will be getting fired over there, is what I'm assuming. Because in the 61 kilo division, there ain't really anybody here apart from me and him. I mean, me and him are the top, me and him the top of the heap. And I think I'm better than him. I think I'll beat him. And when that happens, I'll be coming over there and cracking skulls. Because a lot of your MMA guys, the distinction there for me, which is going to be interesting, is MMA guys are very good conditioning, particularly American MMA guys, because they have that wrestling background, you know what I mean? And wrestling is pure conditioning. My
Absolutely.
shit is my skill is well better than like 99% of any of your guys. I'll knock half of them dead, stone dead. The only thing that will save them, genuinely, is the conditioning. But conditioning helps chin, conditioning helps recovery, conditioning makes you more powerful. So it would be a very interesting thing, particularly because my heart and conditioning, now I'm getting older, is going fucking through the roof because I'm getting clever with this shit, you know what I mean? So I would love to do that. There's a few guys I'm looking at that I think they're good. I'd like to have a crack with them.
Yeah, that'd be so you also, I know, at one point were like smoked weed. Like, have you stopped smoking and stuff too? Like, you've cut off everything, or I'd be
Teetotal.
curious. Okay, great. So like, that's clearly going to help your conditioning too. So like, I'm like, we just had Louis Lopez fight over here, and he said, like, like, oh, I was running and conditioning, but I was still smoking weed and my lungs were crap. And I guess he's since like the day after the fight, he's like, I haven't smoked anything, and like now I like am actually feeling like I can breathe again. Like, it'll be interesting to see now that you're a teetotaler that like what your skills. Like, I feel like you're just going to reach all time new highs.
Oh, I agree completely. But I mean, to be fair, Thai boxing's 5-3, isn't it? And we have to do a lot more grappling than we do in bare knuckle. And I'm fit as fuck to do that anyway, because in my mind, it's one of them. When I was drinking and when I was smoking, I know I'm doing that shit. So I'm like, I better fucking double up my shit just so I know that
Okay.
I'm sweet when I'm fighting, you know what I mean? But it'd be the same. Luckily, I have a lot of good people around me now. A guy called Peter Fell. My dad's my coach. I have a really strong team in my gym. And we also have different coaches around that I go to, people like Kevin Morris, people like a lot of good, ex-professional boxers and pro boxers who they all feed me brilliant advice. Do you know what I mean? So in terms of my conditioning, my strength and conditioning, my technique, my strategy, it's always on point. And in bare knuckle, this is sort of the time to strike while the iron's fucking hot. So I'm coming like a bolt of lightning to strike through everybody's fucking skull. I'll tell you that.
No, I mean, this, like you keep saying, and I agree. It's the perfect time. It's like when you talk to MMA guys, like, could you imagine fighting back when the UFC first came out? Like, you get to start out when the BKFC is first starting out. Like, it's just going to blow up and it's going to be huge, and like, it is easily going to get up there with the UFC. Like, it's so much more action packed and more fun to watch than mixed martial arts at the moment.
Oh, and it's more, so everybody, is what I noticed about, so my fans transitioned from Muay Thai to the first bare knuckle show I took them to. And the two sort of feedback notes that I got where I thought, yeah, I like this. The first one was, I think it was 11 fights, 11 knockouts.
Yeah,
Which that everyone wants to see a knockout. So they were like, sick.
absolutely.
Second thing is, in Muay Thai, same as in MMA, the scoring can be a bit ambiguous. You can watch a fight, somebody be getting cracked, but then, in MMA they'll lay on them, or in Muay Thai they'll throw a few more kicks, and then people go, oh, they won on points, even though the other guy's got no face left. Everyone understands a straightener with no gloves on. Everyone in the fucking world. It's primordial. It's right at the base of our, it's our subcortical shit. You know what I mean? We're all chimps at the end of the day, still and always. And we've still got that understanding within us where whoever's getting cracked hardest and the most, whoever's face is split up the most is losing, whoever's banging him hard is winning. And this is sort of, for me, the simplest and most brutal and effective way to illustrate and elucidate what combat sports are. So it will definitely explode. It will definitely explode. And I'm buzzing to be at the grassroots in the UK to where now they've just started to get a really good roster together. This card is going to fire off massive and it'll do big things for UK bare knuckle. And when that happens, being a part of it, I'm just very grateful, to be honest with you.
Okay, so my last question for you, we always ask, do you remember the first time that you punched someone in the face out of anger? Your first street fight, your first school fight? Like, do you remember that?
I've had a lot.
You're a little punchy?
I've had a lot. I've had a lot of fucking fights. Yeah, I do remember. So the first guy who ever actually properly battered, I don't know if you have them over there, but when I was very young, I must have been fucking 4 or 5. I had these. My mum and dad had got me some new trainers. They were like, I think they're called High Tech or some shit, where the back lit up.
Sure.
And I was proper buzzing with them. I was like, these were the coolest shit to be in the world. And I was running about, going crazy. And there's a guy who's a few years older than me, as I started to try and run past him, thinking I was all speeder, stood on the heel. And I'd fell over and half my shoe came off and I was proper pissed off. So I ran up, headbutted him and levered the fuck out of him. And that was the first fight I remember.
Headbutting at somebody at 4 years old, that's a great story.
4 or 5. Oh, God, yeah, man. Come on now. It's easy work. When you see, the way I grew up, I used to always see fights and shit. So it was par for the course.
Okay, is there any shout outs you'd like to give before we call it a night?
Yes. Thank you to my sponsors. So my sponsors at the moment are Bobhead, which is, I've got the hat on here, you see. It's
Sure.
a biker brand in the UK. Very cool brand, and they're also branching out in loads of different clothes and stuff. It's very cool. Animal, which is a supplement company, it does generally dog supplements, but it's moving over to people supplements, so they're sponsoring me too. And everybody that supports me, everybody that backs me, all my friends, all my family, particularly in this stage of my career where I'm cleaning up, I'm trying to do shit properly, everybody's been overwhelmingly nice and supportive. Thank you to the BKFC. Thank you to you, and thank you to the great fans of Bare Knuckle for inviting the JCB to come and crack heads, because I can't fucking wait.
All right, well, I can't wait for this fight. It's going to be amazing, and then bring your ass to the States. We're ready.
That's the one, geez. I hope you are ready. I hope you are. USA, guys, you better be ready, because I'll crack you all. I'll crack you all up.
All right, thanks, sir.
No problem, geez.